Okay. All right. Let me see. Okay. My timer. Hi. My name's Hassib. I guess it's AA tonight, so I'm an alcoholic. Let me see. Where do I begin? I'll tell you a little about who I am, where I'm from. I grew up in the IE. I'm from Chino Hills. I was I was born in Orange County actually, but my family moved to Rancho and then to Chino Hills. So I went to high school there, and I stayed with my parents pretty much my whole life. I got both my mom, my dad. I got two brothers and a sister, and I'm like the middle boy. My sister's the oldest. Um, Let me see. So I went to high school at Ayala High School, and that's probably when I really started, I guess, drinking and using kind of maybe just for fun, recreationally, I guess, like teenagers do. Um, I think I mostly did it just to kind of fit in, to be cool. I think, when you're a teenager in high school, everybody has trouble fitting in or feeling cool or, like you want to be the most popular kid and all that kind of stuff, which I think is pretty normal. So, um, I wanted to be cool. I wanted to fit in with all the guys who got all the girls, and I wanted to go to the parties and whatnot. So, using and drinking for sure got me invited to some of those things. And so I wanted to be part of that circle. So I think that's definitely why I probably started, was because I wanted to be involved socially with people. I was a pretty happy kid. I didn't really have anything I was escaping or any reason other than just to kind of want to have fun, for sure then. Um, I remember, I would get drunk, but it wasn't an issue in high school, for sure not. I don't think anything became an issue until like probably my early 20s. So after high school, I ended up going to college, and I'm basically a professional. You know what I mean? I have like a job and all kinds of stuff. So that's what I've done with my life. Um, so I think I would keep using throughout college, throughout work. I never really stopped. I would be on and off. Let me tell you about why I would use those. Definitely to fit in, and well, I'll just keep going with my story. So I went on to college. I went on to college, and I'm using. I'm drinking here and there. I'm not really fitting in like I like. So I think I kind of like to isolate a little bit and feel good about myself without having to go out and take risks socially, because I don't really like feeling rejected, and I don't like getting nervous. So I try to avoid that stuff like the plague. You know what I mean? Yeah, here we are, right? So I kind of hate feeling that way. So um, I would just avoid that kind of stuff. I mean, I was always okay with girls and whatnot, but I would get kind of attached, and then if they left or whatever, then I would always feel kind of bad. But it was mostly because I would end up acting in a manner that they kind of didn't agree with anymore. So I understood why they weren't around anymore, but I would expect them to kind of like give me like a third, fourth, fifth kind of chance. It was mostly just because I would start using and they didn't like guys who used. So that's kind of how my life was. In college, I had a girlfriend and we were pretty close. But my real habitual use started after my first girlfriend had kind of like left me. She didn't want to be my friend anymore. She didn't want to talk to me anymore. And I guess that's kind of easy for some people, but for me, it was kind of a big deal. Um, so I felt pretty bad about myself. I didn't really know how to move on. I didn't know what to do other than to kind of be clingy or kind of like ask her to come back around. I don't know, you know how girls are. Like, so she would call me, then I would call her, and then she would blow me off. So it's kind of like, that's kind of the attention they want. So I didn't really know what was going on at the time because I was kind of young. So as I learned more about women, I understood what was happening. But then I didn't know. So I thought maybe she was interested in getting back with me, even though she kind of just wanted to get some attention from you and kind of move on and make yourself feel good, like happens with people. So I didn't feel good, so I started using heavily daily or whatever, and that was probably like when I was about 20, 21 or whatever. I would go to work, I would go to school, but I was using a lot. I've always been pretty disciplined about work and school. I didn't really want to end up without like anything, so I made sure I did those things. But my performance in school for sure suffered because of my use in high school and college. My grades weren't as good as they could have been. I could have gone to a better school. I could have definitely gone straight to a 4-year right after college had I really focused. But I was busy using and partying and wanting to be cool and whatnot. And I guess that's normal for kids, you know what I mean? So I sacrificed, like, I guess a better life, really, or maybe not. I'm not sure if you call it a better life, but admission into a better school and things like that because I wanted to, have more what I thought was fun, what I thought was cool at the time. So. Because, so I ended up going somewhere. I went to, because my grades suffered, so I went to a junior college, and I spent like 9 years in junior college instead of like 2, which is what you're supposed to do. You know what I mean? You're supposed to spend 2 years there and transfer. So I spent like 9 years there. I was working part-time, like 30 hours, 32 hours a week at like a cell phone store. I was using pretty heavily, like, every day to deal with just like, first it began just because I like the way it feels and I want to feel good. It makes me feel like less nervous and less like anxious about interacting with people. So I'd like to use and then go out and try to talk to people because that was something that I really like to do, but I don't like feeling weird about it. So that was they for sure made me feel like I could do that all the time, which is what I would always want to do is to use and then talk. Which is interesting. I remember telling my friends that's all I ever wanted to do is let's talk. So that's what I like to do with them. So that's how it was. I went to JC. I stayed there for a while. I was using different things, whatever. I guess it's not important. Whatever it was just to make myself kind of feel better and to kind of have fun. Grades suffered for sure. I remember one time when I was at work. That was like my first or second, I forget what job. Well, this was like probably my third or fourth job, but this was in college. When I was in junior college, I stole a box of some stuff that they had there. Cost a bunch of money, maybe a few $1,000s, I'm not sure. And nobody knew that I had done it, but they found out somebody took it, and they ended up firing my coworker friend for it. Me and him were kind of close. I never really said anything about that till now. It's probably been let me see, when was that? Oh, it's probably been almost like 20 years now. So I never really said anything about that. I talked to him a bunch of times afterwards, and I never mentioned that. I think he may have known, I'm not sure, but I don't really know. But I didn't say anything, and I remember the day they fired him, I just kind of said, oh, I'll see you later, So, which is crazy. I don't know how I got away with that, but I did. So he got fired, and I kind of kept that to myself for 20 years. So here I am saying that, which is interesting. But I think that's like one of the times I remember doing some kind of dishonest. It didn't really bother me, though, but I guess it should bother you, you know what I mean? Stealing never really bothered me, but I guess it should, which is something I'm coming to terms with today. I remember my performance started really being hindered a lot at that job. I lost that job. I ended up finishing junior college and transferring on to a 4-year state school. I moved out, I lived at school, and I didn't really have as many friends as I wanted, I guess. I kind of wanted to be part of the fraternity scene and stuff like that, but I always thought I wasn't really like those guys, or they wouldn't like me or whatever. So I didn't really rush, and I didn't pledge or whatever you call it. I guess I should have tried. That's part of it. You're supposed to make yourself kind of vulnerable, and then you become accepted through the process of making yourself vulnerable. But I just hate that feeling, you know what I mean? So I thought, no, I'll just keep to myself and just do my thing and try to make sure I have money or whatever, and I'll have a decent life that way instead of taking the risks, I guess, a lot of young men take. So I did that. I kept to myself. I would use a lot. My use had kind of graduated to more serious stuff. I would get kicked out of the places I was living on campus for acting fucking crazy, getting too wasted and fucking causing a scene. And I did that a bunch of times. So that happened several times. I moved from one part of campus to another part of campus. Eventually the cops come, and then I got thrown out of the last part. I moved to another house somewhere. Um, oh wow, it's already been 10 minutes. I can't believe it. So that went on for a while. And let's see. Well, that's where I've been and why I used or whatever. What am I doing about it now? I think this is the first time. I mean, not really the first time that I tried getting sober. I've kicked, withdrew. I've done all that. I've used like medicated assist. I've done everything you could possibly do to try to stop using drugs. And I don't even know if I really wanted to. I kind of got forced into it. Scott calls it like a judge from a nudge or whatever. I said, okay, cool. They jammed me up. The cops, they arrested me for some stuff I thought wasn't really like important or something that I didn't think they had evidence for. But I mean, if you don't have like a righteous attorney, you're going to get stuck. So I got stuck. I took the deal. Here I am. And I said, okay, I'll just make the best of it. You know what I mean? Because the last time I tried, I just kind of wanted to BS it. And I said, I'm just going to just kind of do what they tell me to do. So that's what I've been doing. That's kind of something I take really seriously, is to just do what people tell me to do, kind of exactly what they tell me to do, no more, no less. And I think that's important. So for me, that's what's been working. I just kind of do exactly what people tell me to do. I kind of like to listen a lot. I don't like to talk too much, and I like to just do what they tell me. And I figure that my life will end up somewhere where basically I won't be in jail, which is kind of what I really have as far as hope goes for the future, is to not go to prison again. I hate being incarcerated a lot now. I mean, I guess it could be fun at times, but I mean, I have a lot of opinions, and I don't really want to be somebody that spends too much time in jail, because it's not really a place for you to spend your life. You know what I mean? So that's my hope, really, is to try to just kind of listen to what, I guess the people around here are doing that have done it for a long time. And hopefully I'll end up like them, which is basically, I guess, having the love of your family, kids, wife, and, not being in jail all the dang time. So I think that's all I'm really looking forward to. And I appreciate you guys giving me an opportunity to share with you. Thank you.